Okay, so in today's class, we're going to finish. We're going to finish this baby coding. So last time we introduced you this loop, right? So for the chapter 6, the most important thing is looping. Okay, and we analysis the code last time. So basically today we're just going to just type the do loop. So we learn we have do while, right? Do until, and we have do while, top control, bottom control, and do until top control, and like a bottom control. We always like to use a top control, which will be probably easier because you have to check the condition, then you go to the loop. Now, if you do the top bottom control, it's like no matter what, you have to run the code. Right? Now, so in today's class, we probably just can finish everything in 20 minutes. The rest of time, you're gonna do the coding. Keep in mind, you're gonna finish this project chapter 6 and the case study. So you are going to pick up a case from the end of the book. So you will have, let's see, several choices. So you can see start from page 375. So you can see on the page 375, now you can do the most rainfall in the USA. So you can either choose this one, and this is condition here. You're gonna have to make sure your code will qualify all of this, okay? Because I'm gonna test you this. Then the user interface is like this. Okay, it's very similar to the weight loss. So it probably is easier, this one. Now, this is the first choice. You can also do the internet speed, change survey. So also, it will have, this algorithm restrictions. All of this, you're gonna really have to spend your time to read about it, because from what I saw on chapter 4, some people did not really read the condition and also restrictions. Okay, just read those, and you think about how can you make the input should include 2 places after decimal point. How do you do that? Okay. The next one is this. So you can see here, the user interface look like this. We have, so it's not difficult at all. This is also not difficult. And you can choose from case 3, which is the softboard. Okay, but for this one, it does not have the user interface. You can design your own user interface for case 3. And you design your own interface for the penny challenge. And the last one is a factorial calculator. Okay, that is a very interesting one. And actually, you do have 6, which is home down payment. Okay, so now what we should do today is after we type the code into our the finish loose, then you're gonna pick up a topic to do that. So this is today's job. Next Monday, as I mentioned to you on the previous class, so next Monday, you also will do the hands-on work. Okay, so hopefully you can finish everything by next Monday. So your homework will be due. Actually, it's supposed to due next Wednesday, but I'll give you an extension, so Sunday. So next Wednesday, we will start chapter 7. Okay, so we have the practice time today and Monday. So if you have any question regarding your homework or anything, don't hesitate, just ask me. I'm here to help you. Okay, so let's start our class. So we know loop. So loop is repeat. Sometimes we call it iteration. Repeat doing the action until the condition is true or condition is false. So if you do while, it's when repeat doing when the condition is true, right? Do while and the for loop. Now if we use do until, that means we keep doing until the condition is false, right? Now let's start do the coding part. So last time we stopped at here. So if you check, we declare those variables, right? And the bit weight loss. And we have the string, we get the weight loss we get from the input box. Now next part, so which means we are now on the line 38. Okay, so we're gonna do the do while statement, do until statement. So this one is do until loop, right? So do until loop. So do until. Now do until means you're gonna do this action until the condition is false, right? Until what? Actually, until the condition is true. So either you input number more than 8 or you click the cancel button. Okay, so you will see the or operator. So we have int number of entries is, if it's larger than int maximum number of entries. So you can see here, actually, the maximum number of entries is 8, right? You know, last time I mentioned why you use a variable to hold this value. Right? Mainly, it's like it's easier if you want to modify your code. So maybe in the next time, instead of you want to have 8 input, you want to have 6 or 9. So instead of going to all of the place to change 8 to 6 or 9, you can just change one line. So that is why normally, if you want to have a constant number or you want to have value to put, to keep, so you just have a variable. Okay, that's easier to debug, to modify. So this is one condition. If you have do until this condition becomes true, what condition? Either you have more than 8 input, or if you accidentally click the cancellation button, or not, should not say accidentally, because probably you just click the cancellation button, right? So or the string weight loss equal to string cancel click. Okay, so either you have more than 8 inputs or you cancel the cancellation button. Okay, so as long as this condition, one of conditions true, you keep doing, right? One of the conditions true, you jump out of the loop. But if it's not, if both of them failed, then you keep doing this if statement. So if it's numeric, if the number you type is numeric, because like I said, from last class, right? From the last flow calculation, if you type not non-numeric one, you're gonna have to have a message box something, or just have a error message. So if what? Okay, why I type this? Is numeric? Is this numeric? This numeric is a method building side of your VB. String weight loss. String weight loss. If it's a numeric number, then what you do? Then you do the decimal weight loss. Decimal weight loss now equal to, you convert from string to integer. Sorry, string to decimal. Convert dot to decimal string weight loss. Okay. Also, if it's numeric, but what if you have negative number, right? So later on, if it's not numeric, then you have you're gonna have to have this error message. You're gonna modify this. Okay, so that is what you're gonna do for the else part. So if you want, you can just type the else part right here. You know what? Just yeah. Okay, if I type else part, it should be right here. If you want, else is right here for string input message should equal to string non-numeric error message. So which means, as you can see here, now if it's not a numeric, then my message on my box, I will just pop up the box letter. It shows you it's non-numeric error. Okay. And then we can do the and if. But if it is the decimal point, then we have to say, is this positive or negative? Is this positive or negative? So give it minutes. Give it minutes. Think about it. Now, if it is a numeric, then we do. Is this larger than 0 or less than 0? If it's less than 0, you know that is wrong, right? I just give you. Now you should have a string input message equal to what? Equal to string negative error, right? So you use this 2 error message right here, non-numeric, negative. So that's part. So inside this is if else statement. We have another if. Now if decimal weight lost is larger than 0, which is true, which is good, right? We need a positive number. Then we are just going to do this. List weight lost dot items dot we add it. Just like a array. So we're gonna add inside of our label list. So it's like what is array? A bunch of collections. A bunch of same type data put together. Okay, all of them should be same type. It's a collection of data which have the same type. Dot add decimal weight loss. So if it's positive, then we add into our collection. And besides we add them together, now we're gonna add into the total because we want to calculate total. So we have decimal total weight lost plus equal decimal weight loss. Okay, so if it's a positive, which is true, then we're gonna add this into our collection, and also we calculate the sum because the result is the average. What is the average? The sum divided by 8, right? The total value plus together divided by the number. Now we have now. So this is we finished the first one, and we're gonna accumulate to the next one. So we're gonna modify the int number of entries. Number of entries go to the next one plus equal 1. So it is like, oh, sorry, I should not have parentheses because in Java and C++ it ends with this semicolon. Now plus equal means int number of entry equal to int number of entry plus 1. Now give me a minute to do that. So if it's larger than 0, which is a kind of a legal input, if it's a legal input, we add into our total weight lost, then we can move on to next. So it gives us the if it's right after we move on to the next, and we will have this right message. What is the right message? No, string normal message. Enter the weight loss for team number. Okay, which is equal to the next part. So when we do the calculation of the average, it's always after we finish loop. And when we do the looping, it's like we accumulate the sum. So we can only calculate average after we finish accumulation. Okay, so next part is string input message. So input message equal to string normal message. Okay, so this is a normal message. We do have an else part. This else is, now what if my decimal weight loss is less than equal to 0, less equal to 0, which is not what we want, right? Which is not what we want. Then we should just give my string input message should be should be what? String negative arrow. Okay. As well, you can see here, now, if we have negative number, we just have a negative error message, but we do not add into our collection, and we do not accumulate, and we do not move on, so which means you have to retype until you have a positive number, then you can move on to the next. So you can see the action we are doing only if we do, our number is larger than zero. Okay, so that is this action. Okay, and if. But so this is this one. Okay, so if it's numeric, it's larger than zero. Then after we have the and if, we have to make sure that now if the inter number of entries is less than the maximum, then we can pop up this message box to get input from user next time. So the next one is another if else statement. If the int number of entries is less than 8, less than int maximum number, then we are going to have this this line 36 again. So actually this line, the line 36 right here is waiting for you to get the first input. So later on, you're gonna have this line inside of your loop. It's like a get input, update of your input. Okay, so right after the and if, the most outside and if, you will have if statement. Now if int number of entries is less equal, because you can have 8 numbers. If it's less than equal to the maximum number of entries, then we're gonna just repeat doing the action of the line 36. So if you want, you can just copy this whole line 36 and paste it right here, because it is the exact same thing. Okay, you pop up window and getting the input from user. So every time when you move on to the integer number of entries, you can pop up window to get input. So you will going to put the line 36, so you can copy and paste right here on the line 56, which is exact same thing. So once you finish the first loop, you're gonna get another input. Here is how you get another input. Okay. Okay, so that is this. Okay, that is do until loop. After we finish loop, so we already get the total weight. So we're gonna calculate the average. So I will give you minutes to look at this code again. So if you have a question, you can ask me. Any question? Yes. Huh? So it is a prefix of the string type, str. So we have this. Yes. So this is like we get a valid input from the input box, then we can move on. We accumulate, we move on. And keep in mind, as you can see here, if we want to accumulate decimal total weight lost, we have to initialize to 0 right here. Okay, so in the future, if you want to accumulate some, maybe just for the total or maybe for the average, you always have to make sure you are initialized to 0 first. Okay, so this is one thing. The next part, we're going to So I add space so you can understand better. So if you compare the one of the coding and the one I have, I do add more space so you can know what is going on. So space and the indentation always help you to understand the code better. So next one, we're gonna have to calculate the average. So we do calculate and display average team weight loss. And don't forget to do the quiz 6, guys. So I have noticed quite a few people did not finish quizzes on time. So if you were late on quizzes, the same thing, the same rule will happen. Yes.
Is that why you move this over? This over here, this I see it's supposed to be under the else, but then you move it over.
Yeah, you don't move it. See here? You don't move it.
Like it goes back on its own.
Oh. This one is this is right here. Oh, good. That's what I put. This one should be behind the alley. See here. See? I have the alley right after, right in front of it. So it's not inside of nested one. See the one I have right here? The alley right there. So you're in the next pop-up window is after your next year. That is why you have not get this.
Sometimes it gets hard, like you get lost because you have so many loops. It's hard to see where each one goes. It's a lot.
Okay. Okay, so we have to calculate and display the average team weight loss. Now, the weight loss is quite easy. It's average, right? Just but first of all, we're gonna say still, are we getting all the right number of entries? So you have to use the if else statement to make sure everything correct. Okay, so if number of entries larger than 1, then first of all, we want to display this. I think when we do the fitness label, you hide the label. So you can see here. For this one, average weight loss, you will see the visibility. We set up false. So when you run this interface, it's hide from you. So, but after we finish, we jump out of the loop. So we have number of entries larger than 1. Normally it should be 8, right? So 8 larger than 1. Then you want to see the result. You want to see the label. So it's LBL, average weight loss, dot visible. You want to make it true. So you can see. Okay, you want to make it true. Also, the decimal average weight loss. Now we're gonna start to calculate. Now, what is average weight loss? The total divided by 8. I should not say divided by 8. At this point, it is 8 number of entries minus 1, because after you finish loop, when you jump out of loop, your number of entries is 9. So 9 larger than 8 is true. Okay. So we do the calculation, and decimal average loss equal to decimal total weight loss minus number of entries in number of entries minus 1. Oh, now here the same, because only when you have 9 larger than 8. Okay, here the same. Now in the future, you might don't want to minus 1. there's a way you don't have to minus 1. How? When you do the counting, instead of count from 1, you count from 0. So instead of count from, if we do the 8 loop, instead of from 1 to 8, then once 9, you jump out of the loop, you can start from 0. Then 0, 1, 2, 3, 4 until 7. Then you do that. So if you do not want to do into number of entry minus 1, so what you can do is you can modify this little bit. So you can, that is very common in other languages. So you start your counter. This is counter control. You start from 0. Then as long as it's larger equal to the 8, then you stop. Instead of just larger than, when it's become 8, you stop, because from 0 to 7 is still 8 times 8 loops. Okay, so no matter what, on inside of your looping, you will have one line with n minus 1. So this is called counter control, because we know we have 8 employees, so we know we're going to repeat 8 times. So it is counter control. So deep inside the counter control is also the condition control. As long as condition true, you do these actions. Okay, so we have this number of entries. Now we're gonna display. So right now your number is decimal, right? You do know everything we display inside of our user interface should be string. That is why you need to use a toString to convert from decimal to string. And we can refer to the the one we've previously learned. Actually, I want to show you. Oh, did I show you guys the? Yeah. Okay, I want to show you the code, because I think one time I did not switch back to my coding part, so my whole video didn't really type the whole thing. Let me show you this. Okay. Let's refresh memory. So you might forget about how you modify strings to string function. As you can see here. Now, if we have a decimal, if we want to display our number in our user interface, we have to convert to string. So everything you see on your interface is always string type. So if I have a number I want to display as a string, I can use toString method. So toString is a general number. toString C with a $sign, right? toString F with a number with 2 digit. So actually, in your homework questions, case studies, you're gonna have F because it's a 2 digit, and N and P and E. So this is a one table. But what if you only want a 1 digit? If you want, how can you have 1 digit? Yes, you can. By doing this, toString F1. So basically, you can put number after C, F, N, P to see how many decimal numbers behind decimal point, decimal digit are behind decimal point. So C2, you have 2 digit after decimal point. C3, 3 digit after decimal point. F1, 1 decimal point. So this is a way, I think, chapter 4. Okay, hopefully you can apply this knowledge into your coding. It's hard to remember. The only way you remember is when you use it in your code. So it will help, you understand what is going on. So in order to display the label, so what we will do is, label, whatever we display on the user interface is .text property, right? So label average loss .text equal to, and we use a string concatenation. The first thing we do is average weight loss is, okay, this is the first string. You concatenate. What happened? We'll put it here. Concatenate means combine 2 strings as 1 string. Then we concatenate what? The decimal average weight loss to string. Then we have F1. No, F1, which means we convert to the fixed one decimal place after decimal point, right? Fixed number. And then we have this pounds, LBS. Then after that, else part. Just give you a message. I'll give you a minute to type it. Okay. Now the next thing is we're gonna if it's less equal to 1, which means you did not get input from input from user. So if you accidentally click the cancel button, then you will have this message. Okay, then you will do the else part, because as you know, for the do until statement, either you get all the 8 input or you click the cancellation button in the message box, you jump out of the loop, right? So when you jump out of the loop, it will say, okay, is this larger than 1? If it's larger than 1, I'll do this calculation. Else, what if you did not get anything from user? Just click cancellation button, then it'll give you a message box. Message box. And in the message box, it says no weight loss value entered. Okay, so this is this. Oh, sorry, I just. Okay, that is if, else, and if. The next part, okay, give me a minute to do so. Okay, the next part is disable the button, the weight loss button. So after we finish, we don't want to, after we display the average loss, we do not want to have input anymore. So the next part is to disable the weight loss button. Okay, so we have button weight loss dot enable equal to false, which means you stop getting any input from user. Okay, so that is the first, the most important method. Okay, when you do the calculation. The other two is the one you always do. One is exit, one is clear. But when you do the clear, you clear out everything and you make the label average of label to disappear, make it false, and you make the button enable to be true. Okay, clear, and we'll restart again. I'll give you a minute, you take a look of this, and we move on to the next two method, sub procedure. I think here we call it sub procedure. In other languages, we call method or functions. Same idea. So I'll give you minutes to do that. Okay, this is the most important part. The clear button and the exit button is like you know, just like what we do previously, especially the exit button. You know, exit button is always the easiest one because you only need one line, close, right? Okay, give you 1 more minute and we move on just to do the clear. And don't forget the comment is important. Some students even give me a document to do the documentation of the project, which is excellent job. Some people just do not want to do any comments or any documentation. That is pretty bad. Okay, so please force yourself to write comments. Okay, I don't force you to write a document, a separate document, but you definitely need comments. Okay, so let's start to do the clear. So we go to the file, click clear, because as you can see here, we have clear and exit. So we click clear, double click clear. So as you can see here, now we have a manual clear click. So you go to the once again, now you go to the user interface, click file, now double click on your clear button. Now you have the header of your procedure. Okay. Now we're gonna add the comments. Okay, so you can see it is very important to have comments. Again, now if you don't have comments, I will not give you 100 because it's not perfect. What is 100? Perfect score. Okay, so let's see this one. So menu clear, click, event clears the list box object and hides the average weight loss label. It also enables the weight loss application button. So as you can see in the comments, it kind of already tell you, oh, okay, what is going on for this procedure. Okay, clear the object, hide the average weight loss label. So how you hide it? Label average weight loss dot visible equal to false. Right? That is how you hide it, and how you enable the button. So button dot enable equal to show. Right. So we're gonna just have to have 3 lines. A space list weight loss dot items dot cleared out. Then we have LBL average loss dot visible equal to false. So, sorry. The other one have button weight loss dot enable equal to true. Okay, so that is this. See how easy it is? John, you fall asleep? I saw you sleepy. No? I saw you fall asleep. Okay, so this is this one. Give a minute, take a look. As you can see here, so every statement, they do have special meaning, okay? You cannot just simply just type the code. It's, you know, it is nonsense just to type the code. You probably don't understand what is going on, right? So you just have to understand why we do so. What is the logic behind every statement? So we're gonna do the last procedure. Clear. So we're gonna do the last procedure. We take a look to see, do you have anything wrong? The last procedure should be behind the menu clear. So what we should do is we're going to go back to the user interface. As you can see, we click file and double click exit. Double click exit, then you have this menu exit click. Okay, this menu driven procedure. So you know this one just to close the window. You only need one statement, close, but we do need comment, you know, to kind of explain what is this for, what is this. So this is like the menu exit click event close the window and exit the application, right? So you can always have the exact same comment. Because, you know, exit. You sometimes, you know, previously we have a bottom exit. We try to exit by using the exit button. Now this is the first time we use a menu exit, right? We add a menu, and inside the menu we have this two choices: clear, and exit. And if you want, you can have more. Okay, so we can add. Oh, you can know, you know, if we have an application, we always have a multiple menus, you know, multiple functions under the menu, right? So in the future, you might well design your own company's app by using VB, because it's easy and always useful. You know, the only line you need is close, right? And that's it. That is all for this project. So now we're officially done with this project. So if you want, you can click start, no, save it, click start. So you can see it will pop up this one, and you can see, oh, did I share my screen? I have to make double. Okay, I'm gonna double check this. So now this is one. Okay. So you click enter the weight loss. As you can see, it'll pop up this two this small window, and you have OK button, you have a cancel button. So you know, if you accidentally click a cancel button, so it will tell you no weight loss value entered. To where you jump out of loop because you click cancel button. So you know, there's two things stop you from looping. Either you have more than 8, you have 8 input, or you accidentally click cancellation button. Now, so click the weight loss. Oh, it's done already, so I had to start over again. So if you click the cancel button, it's done. So you click this button, you can do now 1, also just type 2, click and so number 2. So if I type -1, so if I type a negative number to show me a message, see here, error. Enter the positive number for the weight loss of the same number 2 because I do not accumulate, I do not move on until I get the right end. I mean, positive number. So just type if 3. Then if I move on to 3, what if I type A? If I type a letter A, you see here, you see the error message show you enter number for the weight loss instead of digit. So I just type 4, 2, just keep typing 8. When I finish 8, I stop. So as you can see here, the average weight loss is 2.9 lbl. And also you can see here now, if you want, you can add space between each number and a number with labels. Okay, that is easy to fix. So all you have to do is you go to the here when you do the string concatenation, you add a space right here and add a space right here, then your problem will be solved. Okay, so you can see here now if I run it, I click enter. Just keep typing. So you can see here, the average loss is this. So then we are done with project 5. And we still have 40 minutes. So the next 40 minutes and also next Monday class will be hands-on work. So right now you use your 40 minutes and the next Monday class to do the case study for your chapter 5. Okay, so I'm going to stop recording, and if you have any question, you can ask me now. I'm going to quit in the Zoom.